This is our first raw moment that we're sharing, our real authentic women. And we always, Ashley and I decide to give people a choice whenever they come over to make a video. We always give them a choice of whether they would like to just share on video or whether they would like to have an interviewed like style where we can just sit and talk back and forth. And this here's my friend Sharon Dunn, and she has chosen to have a sit down with us. And so we are going to enjoy just sitting here sharing with her, and we hope you enjoy her story that she was willing to come to us. It was, this month is our scary moments in life thing. And this is one of the scary moments in life that she had. And once again, like we said, our dogs just might jump up here. And there is his little head. And so if you see that, don't be surprised. But we just want to know that we are real and we are authentic and we are women. And that's what these moments are all about. So Sharon, go ahead and just share with us about your daughter. Maybe even just start with your pregnancy with her and all of that.
Okay, that's probably a good place to start, because I think that's when God started working in my life, because I was pregnant as a teenager, and I remember saying at the time, because I was so scared, please take this child from me. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget those words. I'll never forget them. And it was almost like the Holy Spirit had said them through me, and then he eventually did. But on with the story, she was a bright, witty old soul. I think the Lord sent her to save me. And
what was her name?
Her name was Tessie Renee.
Oh. Yeah, now, how old were you when you had her?
I was 18 when she was born.
Oh, okay.
18, and her father was 17. We married, and we were together for 5 years, married.
Okay.
But.
And then what eventually, she was born, she was healthy?
She was healthy. She was healthy, yes. She was 9.5 years old, and she started getting symptoms like flu symptoms. And I took her to the doctor and to the emergency room, and back and forth, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. And first they said flu, and then they said rheumatic fever, and each time they were doctoring her for something different. And then we went back to the emergency room because she again was so sick that she had to be brought home from school. And we went to the emergency room in Zanesville, and they did a test. And found out that she had leukemia. And
oh, wow.
she was like 9.5.
Wow.
And they were going to drain her blood and just transfuse her blood.
Do her transfusion.
And I had heard through the grapevine that would have killed her, that they had a team coming from Columbus, Ohio, from the Children's Hospital that was going to come and get her and do what needed to be done. So they just held off and waited for the team to come.
Now, what year was this?
This would have been in 81.
Okay.
81.
Now, you go back over these moments in time. I mean, as a mom, you were probably just absolutely terrified for your daughter's life.
I was terrified. I said to her, I can't believe this is happening to you. I wish it were me. Mm-hmm. And she says, no, Mom, it can't be you.
Aww. And when you say she was an old soul, you just always felt she was more mature for her age than she really...
She really was. She was like, to me, I mean, she taught me so much. She taught me so much, yes.
Even in her short... Now, how old was she when she passed away?
She was 11 years old. She was sick for a year and a half.
Okay. Yeah. Now, this is 81, so technology hadn't... I mean, it was just starting.
Yes.
Then, so for them to discover it, it took a while for them.
It took a long time
to discover that.
I think it was about 3 months.
Wow, that's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time. Yeah. And now, when you were dealing with this, did they do chemotherapy on her? Did you have to take her to the hospital? Was she still in school?
She was in school. Towards the end, we had a tutor at my house for her, but at first she was in school, and they did a lot of her treatments locally in doctor's office, but a lot of it we had to go to Columbus, which was like an hour and a half away, to the Children's Hospital where they did radiation. And well, when they started the radiation, I actually took her and stayed at my sister's house who lived in Columbus, and we stayed there, we went back and forth to the hospital from there for her radiation treatments.
Now, did she lose her hair?
She did.
Oh.
She did.
Wow.
And I have a sad story about that too. She lost her hair, and her father had taken her camping with her little brother, and they went camping, and some adult made fun of her because she had no hair. And the story came home to me, after the camp thing, and it was devastating.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how awful she felt.
To have another adult make fun of her like that.
And we had a wig for her, but it was too hot. She didn't like
Yeah.
it. She didn't like lace around her neck she was a tomboy, and she didn't like a scarf on, so, the bare head was her way to go, so.
Well, if that's what she, that's what she chose for that. Now, walk us up to the point when she passed away.
Yeah, this is the good part. She actually had her birthday on the 25th of June. This would have been in 82. And it was on a Friday, and I remember the very next Friday she went into a coma. So she was in intensive care, and the very next Friday she died. So it was like 3 Fridays in a row that, but between her dying, she, one night, went into cardiac arrest, and that's the story that I have to tell. It's about, I was at my sister's house, and I was at this point more or less like a zombie.
I bet. As a
My
mom,
sister
this is your
was,
daughter.
yeah, my sister was walking me around, sitting me down for supper, helping me, get into the shower, tell me when I needed to shower, said, well, it's time to go to the hospital now. And so I was like a zombie. And she had been in a coma for 3 or 4 days, I think. And I finally decided, that I couldn't do it anymore. I just, what do you do when you're at that point where your daughter's dying and there's nothing you can do?
Yeah.
I mean,
You're just so broken.
Yeah. So I prayed that night. I prayed, Lord, I've done all I can do, and I'm just out. I'm just out of gas. And I said, could you please, Lord, take this from me? And I said, your will be done. If you want to take her, then you take her, and I know that you will help me get through it. And that night then, it was the strangest thing. I went to sleep after I prayed the prayer. I went to sleep, and I was woken with like that on my chest, like a,
wow.
And I sat bolt upright, and I felt the presence of Jesus and Tessie in the room with me. I could just feel his presence, and I felt like I had cement blocks on my shoulders, but I didn't know that they were there. And then they just fell off, and it was like, so I just felt like
a
light
release.
and
Like
a
a
release. And a release, yes. And
Do you believe that was the moment that she went home to be with the Lord?
I do. I do. And this is strange because her body was still alive. They were keeping her body alive, and I still had to go see her in intensive care.
Yeah.
But I felt like her spirit was gone, for 2 or 3 days. And I don't know. Yes, definitely. And I didn't understand at that time the presence of the Holy Spirit.
Right, because had you been going to church, or you knew about God, but you hadn't had an experience with the Lord until that moment.
I had not.
So you hadn't been, been raised in reading the Word and going to church on a constant basis, where the Bible was right there, where the Lord is good and He wants to love on you, and He wants to, be with you at all times. So that was your first experience with the Lord.
Really,
that was your
really
first encounter.
It really was. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I was raised Methodist, and we did go to church all the time.
Right.
But I never had a personal relationship with Christ.
Yeah, it was religion versus
it was religious.
relationship.
Yes.
Wow.
So when I felt that, it was just like I wanted to find out what it was, because I didn't really understand what this feeling was, what happened.
Yeah.
And I went back to sleep after that happened, and the doctor called in the morning, first thing in the morning, and he said, my sister called me to the phone, and he said, Tessie, his heart stopped beating last night. And I said, yes, I know. And he said, we brought her back with the paddles. And I said, yes, I know. And I hung up the phone, and my sister Bobby says, how do you know? And I said, I felt it. I felt it when they hit her with those paddles. I felt that.
Doesn't that show you the bond between a mother and daughter?
Yes.
That's one of the reasons we're doing this for her heritage and raw moments like this there is a bond between a mother and daughter. There's also a bond between mothers and sons too. I don't want to discredit that at all, but there's a bond between mothers and daughters, I think, sometimes, and you have those experiences. Now, you have a son yet too.
I have two sons.
You have two sons, but did you have them after Tessie passed away?
One after. One, he was 7 years old. My oldest son was 7 years old when she passed away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so he probably remembers all of that too.
Yeah. I remember sitting him on my lap and saying that she went to a good place and that she'd be there waiting for him, and because he said, I'll never see Tessie ever again. I said, oh yes, you will. You will.
Well, I'm so glad that you came to share this with us today.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you for letting me.
There are people out there who need to hear that there are moments in life, and we can't determine all of our life moments by full spiritual maturity. Sometimes the Lord will take those of us who might not be spiritually mature and still have an encounter with us to eventually draw him closer to him, like I know your walk is with him now.
Right. Yes.
And your knowledge of him is so much more now of what a good father he is, and how much he cares for you. And that's something that we can appreciate, and that's one thing that we want to share. Do you have anything to share about this? Just from a unmarried daughter's perspective of, having to walk through something like this. The bond.
I mean, I know that there's a special bond because, there's different times I would come to you and you're like, oh, I felt this way about you, or you've had dreams about me, and you've had, deep stuff. And so I know that's, a deep bond, definitely.
It is.
Well, I know after, when I was going through the funeral and everything, people could not understand my peace.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just so at peace, and they thought, that I was holding things
denial.
Denial and stuff. And no, I'm fine.
You had an encounter with Jesus, and he met you where you were at that moment in life.
Yes.
And what you had, and he wanted to know that he was there for you.
Yes.
It's such a beautiful thing.
It is.
Yes.
It really is. So, well, thank you for sharing,
You're
and
very
we
welcome.
hope so much that you all are blessed by this raw moment. And please comment and share if any of you have situations like this, and share with us any prayer requests if you've gone through anything like Sharon has, of losing a child, losing a daughter. It's never easy, and we all have need others there to help hold our arms up and to love on us. And I know Sharon would be willing to pray for anybody who would need prayers. So we hope that you comment and share this with other people. And so we'll see you next week at our next raw moment. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.